Is Margot Robbie as beautiful as she is on screen?
Will Schofield chatting shit about the mascot. And I went up to him and I was like, hey mate, I've got a bone to pick with you. You've gone on your podcast and absolutely slandered me.
She's a 10, but she vapes.
I'm going to say she's
What does Margot Robbie smell like?
chatted at the cot for a while and had a drink together.
Welcome back to the Crooked Smile podcast brought to you by Macca Media. Today we have on
The great man,
Jono Prior,
Jono Prior.
who has, in fact, met Margot Robbie.
Some serious life experiences there. So we chat to him about that.
Very, very deep dive into that.
Yep. And then we also have some conversations about his role in, the role he played in creating one of the most important figures in Perth,
History. Yeah, exactly.
sporting history. The Perth Scorchers Mascot Blaze or whatever his name is.
And more.
And more. So
Much
this is
more.
a good fun episode. Really good guest. Hope you enjoy.
Jono, thank you for being here.
Cheers, lads.
The great Jono Prior.
Got a lot of things to talk about today.
do.
Big episode on the board, on the blocks.
Lots of people were asked to come on the podcast because obviously we're world famous and they want to talk about their life. But when Jono asked to come on the podcast, it was down at the Albion on a Sunday night and he had a list of things that he would talk about on the podcast. So kudos to you for that, because there's a lot of people that just ask and have no backing and don't know what they'd talk about. But we're really excited to have you on because you've had some pretty cool, funny life experiences so far
That
we're
not many
keen to
people
ask
would
you
ever
about.
have.
Not many
Oh yeah, big time.
So we'll start with rapid fire questions.
rapid fire questions.
So these are just some thought-provoking questions just to get the...
Yeah, and these are like super diverse questions, so we're going to ask about a whole bunch of things. And
If you were born deaf, what language would you think in?
Japanese. I don't know. What?
that's
English.
a good question,
English.
actually. Where'd you
English.
Rapid fire.
rapid fire? Is Margot Robbie as beautiful as she is on screen in real life? Do you think?
She definitely lives up to the hype.
Do fish think we're aliens?
I'd like to say so, yes.
Who is on your phone background?
Margot Robbie
Would you like to show the camera?
and myself.
What does Margot Robbie smell like?
Fruit salad and vanilla.
At the same time?
Just a great
A
mixture.
great mixture of the two. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think of Margot Robbie's husband / Is There a Chance? Was there like some shaky stuff going on? A bit of love lost between them, or are they pretty solid?
They seem pretty solid, but I feel like, I'm pretty mysterious. And I'm a pretty handsome gentleman, so.
All right, so for the audience that doesn't know, Jono, how long ago was this?
I want to say like maybe November.
November last year, met Margot Robbie and served her at the CBH.
Oh, no. We actually chatted at the cot for a while and had a drink together.
Oh, wow.
So do you want to, in as much detail as
As
possible,
much detail.
break down the experience?
I remember I saw that you guys on your podcast actually mentioned this when it was going on, and I thought I'd like to come in here and share my thoughts. So basically, Margot Robbie, she's in Perth, and we had a staff training at work, and it's a bit of a weird one where my boss was like, oh yeah, I work at the CBH for people that don't know.
Beach Hotel.
Yeah, shout out to my colleagues. My boss was like, oh, you guys got to wear your uniform to like training. And I was like, oh, this is a bit sus. So I went and got like a coffee beforehand at work and I was sussing out like what's going on. And they're like, oh, we've got a special guest, but you don't know about it. But I found out like just before old mate walked in, and it took her like, she was having lunch at the Indiana tea rooms or whatever.
Across the road.
Yeah. Took her half an hour to get across the road because like she got a photo taken of her at Cot Beach. So it sort of like sparked a bit of interest. And then basically the reason she came into the cot was like to speak about her gin, Papa Salt. And she walked in and like it's a pretty weird experience having one of those like people you like never thought you'd see in real life, like someone, you know, you watch like The Wolf of Wall Street, and this was in like, yeah, this was in like proper Barbie hype as well. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's big time. And Margot Robbie walks in, and everyone's just gobsmacked. Like, we're in the beach club at the cot, just the staff, and she walks in with a big team.
How many people was she rolling with? Sorry to interrupt.
I would say she had like her like 5 mates, and then had like a little marketing team with her.
Her husband, her
Husband.
they're all there, right?
Security
Yeah.
guards
That's
with her?
unfortunate.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't think there was really like big security guards, like, but she definitely had an entourage. And so they came in and spoke to us about their gin for like half an hour or so, and like, you know, you're just staring and staring and staring, and you're just like, what the fuck? And one thing I wanted to make sure, I was like, I got to ask a question, I got to be seen, I got to make sure I do something, and I was like, oh, why is this? Like, why Papa Soul? Da 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 da. Anyway, Margot Robbie came in, and like, I really wanted to make a goal of getting a photo with her, but we weren't necessarily allowed to.
You didn't want to frazzle her or
Well, I don't know.
with your fame. And
Yeah. It's not often you get to meet your heroes, but Margot Robbie had a big day that day. She met her hero. And and then basically they talked about their gin, and they were going to leave, and we were like, how are we going to rope them in? And we're like, how about we make some cocktails with your gin? So we had the like whole beach club to ourselves, and it was pretty hard for people to get in and have a chat to her, because like there's sort of like the group of girls that work there like circled around, and I had a good chat to her husband, and I noticed he was wearing like a Papa Salt shirt, and I was like, all right, Jono, you know what to do here. I was like, so mate, have you got any merch?
Smart.
Because, you know, every time like you see a beer rep or something, you go, have you got any merch? Because they always have hats, shirts or whatever. And he's like, oh, I got something for you. And I got a Papa Salt hat. And I was like, oh, I can do something with this here. So I when they were leaving, I went in and got a little autograph on my hat. And one of the girls, shout out to Abby from the cart, she was like, oh, Jono, do you want us to get a photo of you? And I was like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
And
Was your plan the whole time?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And basically I got a photo, put it on my Instagram story. I've never received so much love and hate in messages.
In the same time.
In this,
Who would hate on that?
oh, no,
Jealous
it's
people.
just a lot of like, you. This is like, yeah, a couple of people are like, this is one of the most you things I've seen, where it's like, you know, Margot Robbie's in Perth, and of course, myself, being Jono Prior, have
Prince of Perth.
found a way to get involved. Yeah. But if anyone likes to know, Margot Robbie drinks her gin with soda water.
That's weird.
With soda water, orange slice, and a crack of pepper.
Crack of pepper.
That's a bit weird.
The more you know.
Gin and do you get often people ordering gin and sodas? I was like gin and tonics, obviously.
Bit of a hot take. I actually prefer, if I have to drink gin, I drink it with soda, because tonic water is disgusting.
Is that just after Margot Robbie that you started drinking gin with soda, or is it like, look, Margot, I drink gin and soda as well?
I don't know. I've like a lot of times, like one thing I've sold it at work a few times, just be like, this is how Margot drinks it.
Yeah. Crack of pepper. Trying
Is
to
she
justify.
shorter or taller than you'd expect in person?
She is quite short, like, but you know, that's just because I'm a taller guy.
True. That is true. I think she likes taller guys, apparently.
Oh yeah. She took her talents over to the West Coast looking for some scouts, and
Well,
there I was.
it is weird that she'd be in Perth, right? Like, obviously she's Australian, but, you know, little old Perth having one of the, not even just one of Australia's biggest celebrities, like one of the world's biggest celebrities.
I've seen a few big names at the cart. Like I've seen like a bunch of the UFC boys. And
Name
stuff.
drop. Go.
I got a photo with Israel Adesanya and
Wow.
had a chat to Volk as well.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, but Margot Robbie just does a clean sweep.
I feel like CBH is the place to go if you're.
Well, the thing is, if you're in Perth, you go to Cottesloe to the beach, and that's the most iconic spot. And then where's the pub across the road?
And they're killing it at the moment. You guys are killing it at the moment. You've run the
Yeah.
OBH out of business. on
Yeah, I
Sundays.
have heard that the OBH is on a massive downward spiral. It's a great spot for a beer in the front bar, but the Sunday sesh is gone. I think they must have got better at checking IDs or something.
Maybe.
So working at CBH, you've been there for 5 years?
I know it's a bit scary to think now, but I've stayed there for a long time because the people that work there we are a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun. You can go out with going out sometimes.
You guys in the CBH would be making absolute bank. I can't even.
The guys that own the CBH, I don't know if you knew, they also own the Rotto pub and
Oh, really?
the Trade Winds and a couple others, Big Pub in Broome.
So apart from meeting famous people at the CBH, any other notable experiences?
I know I've had a few funny customer interactions. One time I got terrified by some massive bikey dude yelling at me because the FPOS machine didn't work, and he thought I was robbing him and called me a bunch of times, and the whole bar just went silent, and I was just like, would you like a beer as well? And I was just standing there. Yeah, I've had a couple a couple weeks ago. Did a weird one. I saw two chicks having a fight. That's a wet
Cat fart?
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought that was I've seen a few fights, but it's really calm nowadays. I'll tell you one thing that would surprise you. A lot of people, every now and then, there's an issue with their food or whatever. It'll take an hour. You would not believe how far offering someone a complimentary drink would get you. If someone complains about their food and they're absolutely outraged, and I go to my boss, I'm like, oh, am I allowed to give these guys a drink because they've been waiting for so long? They're their whole problem has just disappeared because they've been given one glass of wine.
Yeah, maybe that's just you. Maybe you're such a charmer and a seducer. You're like, hey guys, I'm really sorry. Have
Yeah.
this
Jono effect.
gin and soda with a crack of pepper and a slice of orange.
Yeah,
Jono Riz.
Jono courting.
Before we get onto the Perth Scorchers mascot stuff, we actually had some fan interaction stuff to do this week. So
Please go ahead.
we'd love to hear your opinions on these as well. So we sent onto the Instagram, she's a 10 but,
Yep.
and got people to respond with their things for us to break down.
Oh boy, how
And
many,
if you have any yourself, please feel free to
Yeah,
let us know.
I'm happy to chime in when I can.
She's a 10 but, she still wears her levers wristbands.
How? Isn't it
I'm going to say a 6.
isn't it a temporary wristband? I don't know,
I'm
it's
going to
not
say
a-
2.
Yeah.
That's a really
What was
okay.
so memorable at levers that you have to still wear your wristband?
Oh, yeah.
She's a 10, but she wears flared leggings.
She has racing flares off her.
I think it's the
Is that racing?
the pants where the leg is like this, and then when it hits the knee, it goes out.
They're not leggings, they're pants.
Or they're like yoga legging pants.
I'm going to say that's a pride. I think
It's 12.
12.
big ups.
It's kind of like a bit different, It's something a bit different. Everyone's got their leggings.
Yeah.
You own your Lululemon leggings, right? I have some. It's kind of something different to have little.
She's a 10, but she leaves crumbs.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
you gotta eat and she needs to eat and leave
Well,
no crumbs.
Your boy's got to eat. Sometimes you just clean out the crumbs.
Can never leave crumbs, man.
So what are we rating that?
3.
A 3. I think it's a bit harsh. I want to say 8 or 9.
Ooh.
What?
You got to leave some crumbs for the pigeons and the rats. And stuff.
Noah Long doesn't leave any crumbs. Do you know that?
No?
Do you not know that story?
No?
Oh, so I saw Oscar Allen and Noah Long once, and Oscar Allen was having chips, and a little bit of the chip fell off. It was going to be a crumb, but Noah Long, bang, straight onto the table, eating all the crumbs. It's crazy.
Seagull, mate.
Really good. Yeah, no.
She's a 10, but her personality is a Sunday sesh.
Oh, I'm going to say 2.
A 2?
Well,
Someone that works at the
What do you
CBH.
see on these Sunday sessions?
I really enjoy a Sunday sesh, but you got to have a personality 7 days of the week.
Wow, we've got some really great names. Just looking at it now, we've got some really great names of a wide variety of people commenting. So thank you everyone that contributed this week.
We're not finished yet.
No, I'm just saying.
She's a 10, but she starts talking about star signs.
Oh, it's a one.
One.
What
One.
is we like? Yeah, I think it's become quite notorious stuff. I feel like it's a very American thing, right?
Do you guys know your star sign?
I know I'm a Leo. Scorpio. Look at us. We've just fallen into the talking.
I don't
what's
know
yours?
my star sign.
Are you a Sagittarius?
Oh, mate.
Yes.
You know what my birthday is?
Actually?
Yeah, I am.
I just guessed that.
yeah.
I don't
is
know
a
what the dates are,
Sagittarius?
but
I don't know. I think it's like a half man, half horse. Am I not wrong?
it's
That's a centaur.
See the thing.
So no. I know that's
No,
a
yeah,
centaur,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like the sign.
It might be as well. No, but the thing with star signs is that when people, the funniest thing is when people read it.
Oh,
So
mate.
yeah.
I like reading because it's like, it's almost like a contest to see which one's the most vague.
Don't
Yeah,
you?
that's true.
But like we'll read it and it'll be like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm a Leo.
But
Because
like-
obviously you're not the.
I like they're like in the newspaper.
Exactly.
In the newspaper every day, they've got the star signs, and it's like, you will face conflict today.
That's so true. Like,
It's
I've
like
got to go
your
face my
moon.
boss
It's
today.
something like the space moon is on the horizon,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you'll be more lovable.
That's beautiful.
She's a 10, but she asks who's winning after one over of a test match in cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is tough.
I feel like you wouldn't like that one.
No, to be fair, I can, I can win. I can change the game in an over, but yeah. Can I say one? I think
Yeah.
the most common she's a 10 is she's a 10, but she's taller than you.
Oh. Well, I
Depends
don't
how
know.
tall
I don't,
you
I don't
are.
mind that.
If you're 6 foot and she's over 6 foot,
Like, fair play.
I don't know. I'm 6 foot. How tall are you guys?
Yeah.
I see what you're doing
Should we
here.
stand up? You're doing that.
I see what you're doing here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So for
Well,
the-
I'd be like 5'11" then.
we've actually talked about this on the podcast and had a clip of it. So basically, he's not 6 foot. He's a lot taller, but he will stand next to people that
Yeah.
are 6 foot, and he will say he's 6 foot to make them seem like they're lying.
Yeah, it's
That's a power play.
It's a Hamish Andy power move.
Margot Robbie thought you were tall. That's all that matters.
His boys just talking about length.
Boys.
She's a 10, but she comments on every Crooked Smile YouTube
20.
video. 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Big
Shout
time.
out. Comment, subscribe to the.
She's a 10, but she has a collection of rocks and stones.
I think that's the same with the star sign.
So just a 2.
Yeah.
Solid
What?
2.
But-
Can they not have?
Well, it depends if
people
they
not
have like meaning, like if you-
Rocks have
I'm-
meaning?
Well, it's like no. I like on the other way. Like I'm happy with someone like to have heaps of rocks and stuff. But if they're like, this rock is my lucky rock. It's like it goes everywhere with me.
People not
I
have
think-
passion for geology.
She's a 10, but she's a diehard Freo supporter.
Yeah.
Oh,
0.
1,000. She
0.
Zero.
the goat. 3-0 baby. Wearing purple today.
She's a 10, but she listens to too much Swiftie and relates to all her songs about ex-boyfriends.
52.
52.
I'm going to go with a 3.5.
Love Taylor Swift.
What would you rate?
Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a massive one. I appreciate a song every now and then, but I wouldn't say I'm the type of person that knows all the lyrics, all the songs.
So what would you rate her if it's her personality and how she relates to all her ex-boyfriends?
I got 2. Also, Margot Robbie is better than Taylor Swift.
That's what I was going to ask earlier.
Well-
a quick sidetrack. So would you say that Margot Robbie or Taylor Swift is a bigger star?
Or
I'd probably say Taylor Swift
yes.
currently has it covered.
But think about the Barbie hype.
No.
I know, but
don't-
like
Don't.
Taylor Swift is like pretty big.
She's the biggest. Cam will
Anyways.
continue to. Cam will
This
continue
is
to
the
hate.
final one, and I think this is one that needs to be unpacked. She's a 10, but she vapes.
I don't know. I guess it depends if you're if you're a vapey person or not. But I'm gonna say she's a 5.
Oh,
What?
Well,
Harsh.
what are you going to say?
10.
No, this is everyone vapes.
I was going to say 1.3.
Anyone that vapes should be no. If they're a 10 and they
I
vape,
don't know.
they're a 5.
If I see
in general.
if I see a girl that every 5 seconds is reaching down to grab a vape and have a hoof, it's tacky. I feel like it's kind of tacky.
At least with a vape, it's like they don't smell like they're smashing darts or.
Yeah, but that means they do it more, which is worse for their health long run.
I don't like this conversation.
Vapes eventually run out. I don't know. They sounded a bit cryptic.
So, Jono, You are the man behind the suit, one would say.
Yeah.
You're the Prince of Perth,
I'm the designer of the dragon.
The dragon of.
the Imagine Dragon.
Yeah, no. I took an imaginary dragon and I made it the mascot of the Perth Scorchers. Yeah.
So what's the story behind that?
I don't know. One day I was in like year 7 or so. I just happened to fall in my lap that there was a design competition for the Perth Scorchers mascot, and I had like a free period at school, and I was like, tracing away or doing designs. I think I did a few like balls on fire or like just
Scorches.
like a flame, and and then I eventually got to the idea of a dragon, and like I'm pretty average at drawing, but sometimes you got to outsource.
You're an ideas guy.
Yeah, I'm an ideas guy. I like to be a little bit innovative, and I got Matthew Howe to come do a bit of drawing for me.
Shout out.
Shout out to Matthew. I was like, so this is my dragon. I want a Scorchers uniform, whatever. And a few months down the track, we at a PE lesson. They're like, oh, you guys have a meeting in the library, like, and we were like, oh fuck, shit is about to go down. And then I found out I won the competition and designed the Scorchers mascot. Was greeted by Jason Berendorf down in the middle school library, and I was pretty hyped. It's actually quite funny. If you can find this on the web somewhere, there's an interview of me like post this, and I hate it because it's like, when you go back to the days when you were like a big squeaker in like
in year 7.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny interview to watch, but like I'm like so rosy in the cheeks, and I'm just like a little bit nervous, and I'm just rambling.
Do we have it or no?
Oh, no.
I've heard that there's been a bit of controversy around.
Well, one of my mates sent me like a clip the other day of like Will Schofield chatting shit about the mascot. And
That's harsh.
yeah, and he was just like saying stuff like, why is it a dragon? Like, what like connotations does it have to the Scorchers? And I feel like it's pretty straightforward.
What else would it be?
Yeah, I also got told when I won the award, when I won it, I was the only person that submitted an animal.
Is a dragon an animal though?
Oh,
It's a mythical creature,
it's a
sorry, I
mythical creature,
apologise.
it's like a Sagittarius.
Half
yeah.
man, half horse.
With a bow.
So, but does he? Maybe okay. These are my theories. Maybe he lost the competition. Maybe he also had an entry.
Yeah.
But also, like, if he understood that it was like a
Well, I actually saw Will Schofield at like the Rottnest pub, and I'd just done the porch pub with a few mates and had a couple celebratory schooners, and I went up to him and I was like, I grabbed one of the boys and I was like, I'm about to confront them. And I went up to him and I was like, hey mate, I've got a bone to pick with you. Like, I've got a real issue here. You've gone on your podcast and absolutely slandered me without knowing me. So like, I was just like, hi, I'm Jono. I designed this mascot for the Scorchers. I just want an explanation to know why you think it's that shit. And
Slandered a year 7's work.
yeah, I
exactly.
did let him know it was like
It's a
year
year
7
7.
work. But we sort of laughed about it, and I couldn't get him to agree that it wasn't shit. He held his ground, but like,
oh, good on him. Not
he,
cowering
but
under
like
pressure.
he did say he wanted to mention it on his podcast, and he's like, oh, I'll give you an apology on Monday, and I was like, sick. I'll listen to the podcast. Nothing.
Scully.
I thought that was a good like little nugget
Come on,
for them.
Scummy.
Yeah,
What?
Scully, more like scummy.
exactly what I'd expect from an Eagles player.
Well, how'd you feel about actually finishing a swim to Rottnest?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Well, none of us had. It was me, Chris Watts,
Elite team.
Chris Watts, Dan Walker, and Cam Gianni.
Elite team.
Elite team. None of us had even done it before. We did a little bit of training, and we finished, and didn't get cancelled or anything.
Well, I saw Dan, and he said you were the second slowest.
Well,
It's so esteemed.
for our gender.
For your gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We came like, I think we came like 115th out of like 130 teams of 4.
But you did it.
Yeah, we
Killed
did it. It's probably because we really tapered off in our training towards the back end. We were about like 2-3 weeks. We were like, oh, we don't want to blow out our shoulders, boys. Like, let's just go to the shark net and do a couple laps.
What was your time?
Oh, it's like 8 hours.
It was a record-breaking day, though, wasn't it? Because there was
No, there was gale force winds, and there was even pirates that slowed us down.
Cooper Lindsay was one of those pirates.
Oh, we can't talk about it.
Yeah, but we finished, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Finishing.
I've heard that your Rottnest antics don't stop there, though.
When I was a lot younger, I want to say like maybe 10 or 12, I cheated in the Rottnest Fun Run.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
So basically, I was a young lad, and I saw like my mum and dad there, and they were like, my mum was like gearing up to the run. I saw like Cooper Lindsay was there as well, and they were doing the run. And on the day, I was like, oh, this is so exciting! I want to do it. And I was doing the 5K fun run, and I was like really struggling. I'd done about half of it. I was over it, and I was just in tears. And my mum was like with me the whole way, and then like the ranger came over and was like, "Oh, is this young man all right?" And I was like, "I just want to go home. I'm done with this." And basically, his like mum was like, "Oh, his dad's at the finish line. Can you take him over there?" And and when you see opportunity, you take it.
So the whole thing was
I saw the finish line, and I was like, "Oh, just drop me off here, mate." And I grabbed like a cup of water and splashed it on my face. Started sprinting, and like the commentator was like, "Look at this little pocket rocket guy," and I came third.
Third out of everyone.
Oh, in the 5K, yeah.
At 11.
I feel like, without knowing, that was like genius cheating, because like, you can always come first, but it's like harder to come
yeah,
third.
it's more it's less suspicious if you come third.
Yeah.
Was your dad at the finish line or not?
He was, but my brother likes to tell this story. Apparently, I went to the bakery and got a jam donut in between somewhere. I like to think I did, but I don't know if that's true. But I was like pretty hyped, and
What'd you win?
I think I was like, there was like a prizes or whatever, and then eventually my mum like told them what was up. But, forever I'll have a third place name.
Podium place.
Yeah, podium finish, Rottnest Fun Run.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Whammy! 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 Whammy!
The wind is really windy.
Well, you know the old expression. Nope.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Cam's news. So, in the States, a couple with 3 kids found out after 10 years of marriage that they're actually cousins. What would you do?
Probably move to like Texas or something.
Are they from
Alabama?
Texas? Are they from Alabama?
Yeah.
But genuinely, if you
Or
were married to someone
Tasmania.
for 10 years
Tasmania.
and you had 3 kids together and then you find out you're first cousins,
I'd probably go to the doctor straight away to check up on my kids to see if they're all right.
Yeah, that's probably a sensible thing to do.
but do you stay together or do you split up then?
Well, that's not going to change anything. You've still got 3 kids that are products of incest.
Yeah, but like the actual couple itself.
I feel like you're like too far gone.
Yeah.
So you'd stay together.
Were they first cousins or were they second
Well,
cousins?
let's say for example's
how many-
sake, they are first cousins.
How far down the line of cousins is it okay, do you think?
I don't want to go down the cousin rabbit hole, but
Whoa. Oh, jeez.
so would you stay together or not?
Well, you're going to fuck up the kids more if you divorce.
Is it like public news, or do you guys only know it yourselves? Like, is this a secret that you take to the grave with your partner?
Well, it is now.
Well, this is public. This is an actual story.
Yeah, but like,
If it happened to you.
I'm sure some couples know that they are and they're just keeping it quiet.
Yeah, if it happened to me, I'd stay together and keep it quiet. But if it's like on blast, it's like a bit of a weird one. Like, or your friends and family go like, oh, the cousins or the kids are right.
Is it just about the kids? Because the whole premise of you being with your cousin then afterwards as well. It's not just about whether the kids are healthy or not. You're sleeping with someone that is your own blood.
I think I've seen this news, like a couple of different alterations of this news story, and I feel like you'd have to stay together. If you're 10 years down the road, you've built a relationship with someone.
Easter stories.
Easter stories.
Easter stories. Did you have a good Easter? Happy Easter,
I did.
everyone, by the way. What'd you get up to?
Nice little family lunch yesterday.
Any,
I saw my cousins, and I can confirm I don't have any relations with them. Like, I'm not weird like that, Cam. Were you guys like a big Easter egg hunting?
well, my least favourite thing about Easter egg hunts when we were growing up is we'd do it with another family and we'd go get all our own chocolates and stuff. And me being the chocolate hungry little boy I would normally get the most chocolates. And then afterwards we'd all have to sit down together and share them equally.
Communism.
What?
Yeah, it's the look on your face. It sucked.
If you put in the legwork, man, you got to reap the rewards.
If you're watching, Mum,
It is. That is
I'm
a
disappointed.
But that is a metaphor for the communist system, right? So they don't reward any sort of individual
Holding me down.
expertise, or they don't reward you for your specialized Easter egg hunting ability. They take everything that you've earned and everything that you've created and share it amongst everyone else, and that's why it doesn't work. It's not a merit based system.
Do you know what that does? It demotivates me next year to go and get them. By the end of it, I just wouldn't even go get them. I'd let them get them because I knew that I would get an equal share.
Exactly, and it just like it demotivates the labour force in these countries. That's quite good. I haven't thought about that.
All right, fan story. So for Easter, my brother once wrote a 3-page letter to the Easter Bunny explaining he wanted Lego Star Wars the video game instead of Easter eggs. He got it and lost the disc in 1 week. Do you think it's acceptable to get presents for Easter that aren't chocolate?
My Easter was just like my mum walked into my room while I was really hungover and was like, I got you this Toblerone. Cheers.
Oh,
Cheers, guys.
that's
Cheers.
beautiful.
I'd have to say, I'd recommend people to write down some notes of it's a fun like shower thought. Like,
What would you
what
talk
would
about?
you talk about on a podcast?
Just 5 things.
Yeah.
And comment them down below.
Well,
for us to
well,
steal.
well, if you see us out in public, which you won't because like we can't really go out of our house without being mobbed, but be prepared if you really do want to come on the podcast. You have a few things written down like Jono did.
Yeah.
But also not everyone's has had as interesting a time as you have, Jono.
8 finches long.
Oh, yeah.
Finches long.
Follow us on Instagram. That's my cricket team.
Have you just come out a successful season?
Oh, we lost the grand final 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
We were looking to go for a 3-peat.
And shout out to your mascot on 8 finches long, Cooper Lindsay.
Yeah.
did you design him as well?
I think the WA Police Force designed him in the lab.
Great man,
yeah, they
Cooper.
did.
We love you.
Rest in peace, Cooper episode.
Yeah. But yeah, 8 finches long. Great little cricket team.
Well, thanks very much for being here, John. I really appreciate it.
Jono.
If there's anything to take away from this episode, it is Margot Robbie lives up to expectations. And if you want to come on the podcast, be like Jono and have a list prepared.
Go
Cheers.
Scorchers.
Thank you very much.
Go Scorchers.